Yo! Video games.
What up, dudes? It's Matt here from YoVideogames. Recently, and by that I mean very recently, Pokemon Go finally went public on app stores, and overnight it has become a huge success. People of all kinds from all around the world are playing it now, and if you ever played Pokemon once in your life, it's easy to see why. Pokemon is mostly what everyone from little to grown man-child and investors have been clamoring for as long as smartphones have existed. As much as I'm not a mobile gamer, I do admire the game for making smart use of the phone rather than try to cram a pre-existing game style into a touchscreen only setup. We can discuss the merits or issues with the game in particular all day, but that's not what I want to talk about today. The issue I want to discuss today is the very scary possibility and future this title may bring to one of our most beloved gaming companies in the world. Now, before I get too far into this, I want to point out that Nintendo is not the Pokemon company. Nintendo is a joint investor in it, but Nintendo does not have a final say in everything they do. Now, with that out of the way, let's look at some of the hard, sobering truths. Nintendo had an amazing resurgence in the mid-2000s with the Wii and the DS, but it's safe to say that their follow-ups haven't been as successful. The Wii U in particular has been downright abysmal. All the way up to his passing just a year ago now, Satoru Iwata was constantly being pressured by investors to get into the mobile market, something right up until near his passing he fought against. Iwata truly believed in a dedicated gaming market and believed that the experiences he and his company could provide could not be matched on mobile devices. Frankly, I still agree with him. The problem was convincing others, investors and consumers alike. We all know how addicted to phones people in America are, and while I'm no expert, I'm pretty sure it's even worse in Japan, especially in cities where many people take advantage of public transportation there more than here. Point is, people are glued to their phones 24/7, and they would much rather have a fun time waster on that than wait till they get home to their TVs or lug around an extra device just for gaming. Finally, after years of pressure, Iwata made a deal with DNA to make a series of Nintendo-made mobile games, and the Pokemon Company made the game everyone wanted, for the most part. The first title, Miitomo, was a quick hit, but it quickly ran out of steam. Still, it showed that Nintendo could succeed and get noticed in the mobile market. Pokemon is another quick hit and by all accounts, much bigger, and has the potential to last much longer. So why is this a problem? Well, it's no problem for the Pokemon Company, it's no problem for Nintendo, and certainly not their shareholders. The problem might be for us shrinking dedicated video game market. Let's break down some numbers. Last year, the mobile market brought in almost $35 billion, while the video game market brought in $23.5 billion. All while Nintendo's market share in that continued to shrink. Looking at some of the most successful single games on mobile, Marvel Contest of Champions alone brought in $100 million. Candy Crush in 3 months, made more than $500 million. These are single titles, and even if they do eventually fade away, the money they net during their heyday is impossible to ignore. The most worrying thing of all is the cost of development for these titles. We all love and want games like Breath of the Wild and Xenoblade X, but those games require years of manpower and talent of many artists and programmers to bring to life. Now, I'm not trying to diminish the art or programming that goes into a successful mobile title, but simple facts are that you simply do not need as many people or as much time to create a game like Candy Crush versus The Legend of Zelda. Likewise, Pokemon Go, probably, though I'm just guessing here, had a smaller development team than, say, Pokemon Sun and Moon. The difference here, though, between downloads and sales might be night and day. Get it? With titles like Miitomo having some initial boom success and Pokemon Go taking the world by storm, I fear it may not be long before Nintendo takes a good, hard look at the money games like Breath of the Wild are costing them and how little a return they are bringing them. I think it doesn't help that their investors have been breathing down their necks for years about this, and with the new, though still old guard, I don't think it's unreasonable to assume that Nintendo may be looking at a future with less and less actual video game development and more mobile. The real turning point might be later this year or early next year. The success and longevity of Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem on mobile will probably play a very large role in the direction Nintendo goes in the future. Also, the success of the NX, of course. If If more and more of their mobile titles are huge successes and the NX pulls another Wii U, I don't think it's that crazy to think of Nintendo going primarily mobile. Iwata wanted to leverage the mobile market as a way to entice people to play on dedicated game consoles. However, I am not convinced that Kimishima or any of the others feel as particularly strong about that as he did. A number of really successful mobile titles and serious cash flowing in is enough to change about any business's mind. If you're a mobile gamer, this is probably just fine, and I'm happy for you. I don't mind these two types of games coexisting, but if you're a longtime gamer like me and you've seen what's happened to game companies like Sega, Konami, and Capcom, then this awesome new Pokemon app could also be the start of something you never wanted to see. Let me know what you guys think and I'll catch you on the channel. Later, dudes!